Hello and welcome. This is Michael Babcock, and in this videocast, I'm going to go ahead and walk you through the process and procedures that I use in order to upload my podcast and publish it to 14 different destinations. I'm also going to go through the process of how to modify your cover art and verify that your cover art is set to the specifications of iTunes. For the purposes of this demonstration, we're going to be using Libsyn as the podcast host. I'm also going to be piping in my phone so I can show you exactly what I do and giving you some quick rundowns of also a few other things as well. So let's go ahead and start with the first thing, and that is I'm going to walk you through the process of publishing a podcast episode. Now, I record my podcast in BossJock a majority of the time, so I'm going to show you how I upload my podcast from BossJock to Libsyn. Then I'm going to show you how I get my show notes from my phone to my computer. Finally, I'll show you how you can connect all of these processes together to make one amazing piece of content that will go all around the web, thanks to Libsyn. So the first step is to open BossJock. So let me go ahead and unlock my phone.
Betascope. You have 6 new Betascope notifications.
Okay, and now that my phone is unlocked, I'm going to go to
Page 1 of 7, adjustable.
BossJock.
Swipe up or down with one finger to adjust the page 2 of 7. BossJock. Double tap to open.
Let me make sure my speech rate is set properly.
Added characters. Words. Speech rate. 42%. 47%.
Yep, 47%. Okay, so let's hit BossJock.
Candy Crush. BossJock. Double tap to open.
And I'm going to double tap it. Now,
Banner.
the episode that I recorded is already recorded and rendered. So all we need to do is upload it to FTP.
Card loaded with mic trigger button.
So I'm going to hit
notification. Betascope.
I'm going to hit the recordings tab in the bottom right hand corner.
Record button. Recordings tab 3 of 3. Recordings tab 3 of 3.
Oh, it looks like I need to dismiss that notification that tells me that I can't monitor my mix because I got headphones unplugged.
Empty card 4. Card loaded with your own. Card loaded with your own. Card loaded with
Find
okay.
that.
Button. Okay.
There we go. So if you've never
Card
used
loaded with
BossJock,
TP_outro.ai.
you have to use headphones to monitor your mix, and if you don't have headphones plugged in, you'll get a notification on the screen that will disable all other functionality in the application until you dismiss that notification. So now let's hit that recordings tab in the bottom right hand corner.
Record button. Recordings tab 3 of 3.
We're going to split tap that. You can double tap as well. It's just the way I'm holding my phone. And then the recording I want is the very first one.
Wistia or YouTube, your own pay podcast.
Wistia or YouTube, your own pay podcast. And that's the podcast I want to upload. So I'm going to double tap on that.
Recordings, back button.
And this takes me to the recording itself. So now if you go down towards the bottom of the screen,
export button.
You'll find the export recording button. So I'm going to double tap on that.
Export heading.
And now you have several different options that you can export your recording to. So I'm going to flick through until I hear it say FTP. FTP stands for File Transfer Protocol.
Cancel. Wistia or you 128 kbps MP3 stereo. Adjust settings below to change.
You can adjust the settings. My settings are set how I want them.
SI 6.21 megabits. Selected MP3 M48 button 2 WAV button 3 AIFF button 4 mono button 1 selected stereo button bitrate selector 120 email button SoundCloud button FTP button.
Hey, look, that's what I want. So let's double tap on that.
FTP.
Now it's rendering the podcast right now.
Encoding 2%.
It's encoding it, and right now it's at 2%. So I'm going to go ahead and explain to you a little bit about what I did real quick as a quick recap. So I recorded my podcast in BossJock. And BossJock is a paid application. You can get their BossJock Junior, but I don't believe you can export your podcast or whatever you are recording in BossJock Junior.
Screen dimmed. Progress 10%.
So I recorded my podcast in BossJock. Then I double tapped or split tapped on
12%.
the recordings button in the bottom right hand corner. Then I found the episode itself, which this episode was Wistia or YouTube.
15%.
I double tapped on the episode title, which brought me to the information page for that particular
17%.
episode. This is going to take a minute, so I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording because once I did that, I simply went over and I flick to the export button and selected FTP. When I come back, I'll walk you through what happens when it's done with exporting. And we are just about done. I'm just finishing up this export process.
91%. 92%. 93%. 94%. 95%. 96%. 97%. 98%.
If I would have known it was going to count every single percentage.
FTP heading.
And now we're on the FTP heading. So let me flick through and I'll explain each of these options to you.
Close button.
Close will let you cancel it.
FTP server.
FTP server is where you put your FTP server, and in the case of this, in the sake of this, the FTP server is
FTP server. FTP//ftp.libsyn.com/your/own/Dropbox text field.
And let me explain something to you real quick. The FTP server is ftp.libsyn.com/showslug, which when you sign up for Libsyn, you'll know what your show slug is. Mine is your own pay, / and then you have 4 choices. The first choice is assets. Assets is when you want to upload an image or a document, but not a PDF file. So you can associate files with your Libsyn account for download on your podcast. The Dropbox is the second folder. That is where we're going to upload this file to. That'll make it available in the Libsyn platform, which I'll show you that here in a few moments. The third one is the public folder, which will just make it available. It'll just make that episode available on your RSS feed that you have with Libsyn. It will not distribute your podcast to all of your destinations, which I'll explain a little more about destinations here in the near future. And then you have QuickCast, which will publish to your RSS feed and to all of your destinations. So for the purposes of this demonstration, we're going to post to the Dropbox folder, which once again will make it available within the Libsyn web platform, which I'll show you that here in a minute. So I'm going to log back into my phone. And I'm going to flick to the right.
Close button. FTP server. FTP server. FTP//ftp.libsyn.com/your/own/Dropbox text field.
Perfect. That's where I want it.
Double tap to edit. Username.
Username is your Libsyn email address, or your email address that you signed up with Libsyn with.
Username. Michael@yourownpay.com text field.
And then your password.
Double tap to password.
Their password is the same password as what you use to log into Libsyn. So we're going to flick to that.
Password 9 characters. Secure text field.
And we're going to
FTP
flick
password.
to the
Double
right.
tap to edit. Upload button.
And we're going
FTP
to
upload.
select the upload button. So let's double tap on that.
Upload. Cancel button.
And usually it's a pretty quick process. I'm not going to pause the video because I don't think it'll be necessary. But once this is uploaded, then your episode is readily available. I personally have one more thing I need to do on the phone after this episode is uploaded, which will walk you through that. That is,
FTP succeeded.
told you, FTP succeeded, it's done.
Screen dimmed.
So that is, I need to grab my show notes off of my phone and move them to the notes folder. So let's flick to the right.
OK button.
We're going to double tap on OK.
OK. Details. Recordings. Back button.
And you're put back in the details of the recordings of BossJock. So that's all I need to do in BossJock. So I'm going to hit the home key.
Home.
And now let me explain to you a little bit about my show notes. I use the Dragon Dictation software because I find it to be more accurate, though it does require a necessary step. What we need to do here is I need to grab the text out of Dragon Dictation and I'm going to post it into my notes application. So I'm going to walk you through that process real quick. This part might not be necessary for you if you type your notes on your computer, or if you don't include show notes with your show, or if you type them directly into another application such as Notes or something else that synchronizes with your computer so you can access them. Now, do understand that I believe you can manage your podcast directly from Safari within your phone. This is just the process I go through when I set up my podcast. So let's go to page 7.
Page 2 of 7. Adjustable. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. Page 6. Page 7 of 7.
Which is where my... I really need to set up folders, but which is where my Dragon is.
Canvas. Aviary. Dictation.
And it's the dictation application. So I'm going to double tap on that. And my show notes are already there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flick to the keyboard.
Record button. Keyboard button.
And I'm going to double tap on keyboard.
Keyboard text field is editing.
And then I'm going to use my rotor to switch to edit.
Edit.
I'm going to select all.
Paste. Select all. Select all.
And then I'm going to cut.
Cut. With Stepple or YouTube.
That leaves my notes, my dictation app available, blank, ready to take dictations the next time. I could have copied it, but that's just what I do. So now let's tap the home key.
Home. Dictation.
And then we're going to tap the home key again to get back to page 1.
Home. Messages. 2 unread messages. Double tap to open.
And then I'm going to go to my notes.
App Store. 3 updates available. Notes. Double tap to open.
And I'm going to double tap that.
Notes. Notes. iCloud. Back button.
Now I am working in my iCloud Notes folder, so I'm going to hit the New Note button in the bottom right-hand corner.
Note. 3 chocolates. Note. New note button. Double tap to compose a new note. Note. Text field is editing. Character mode. Insertion point at start.
And I'm going to use my rotor and paste.
Edit. Paste. With Steppa or you.
Now, as you can hear, Wisteba or YouTube, it's supposed to be Wistia or YouTube. There are some spelling errors, so I'm going to walk you through what I do real quick. I'm not going to actually have you listen to me edit the entire document, but I'll show you how I get that into an easy to edit and monitor format. So let's hit done in the top right-hand corner.
Done button. Share note.
And I'm done. That's all I need for my phone. So I'm going to hit home.
Sketch button. Home. App Store. 3 updates available.
And I'm going to lock my phone. Thank you, phone. I'm done with you. So now we just need to switch over to Finder on OS X.
Finder, applications window, ScreenFlow, application.
And now I need my Notes application. So I'm going to type NO.
Notes, application, 40 of 57.
And this is just the default Notes application, by the way. So let's Command O on that.
Open. Notes window.
And I know from experience that by default I'm on the folder of notes that I need. So it's VO right arrow twice.
Vertical splitter, My Notes table.
To the My Notes table, we'll interact with that and go to the first note.
Interact with Steppa or YouTube. In this podcast, I explain to you why I personally, 8:09 p.m. prefer.
Hey, look, there's the note that I just added. So let's stop interacting at this table.
Stop interacting with My Notes table.
And then
With Steppa or YouTube.
We're going to VO right arrow twice again.
Verticals, edit text insertion.
And I'm going to select all and copy.
With copy.
Now, you could edit this note within Notes, but let me show you why I edited it here. I'm going to hit right option 4, which will open my text edit.
Text edit, open, win.
And I'm going to create a new document.
Stop in, open, done, but options, new document button. Press new document button.
Now I'm in a blank document. I'm just going to paste this.
New line.
And because I have an Apple script enabled, I'm going to check the word count of this. Make sure it's over 200 words.
Word and character count. 251 words and 1409 characters.
Perfect. That's exactly what I want. So that's it. Okay.
OK, default button. Now
what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this video. I'm going to go through, make all of the edits, the grammatical edits and the actual, change it to Wistia instead of Wistia or Wischea or whatever it's saying.
Ruler. Edit text in.
Let's see.
Content. Do you. New line. With. Beginning of text. With service. With misspelled. Steepa or you.
With Steepa. That's what it's saying instead of Wistia. So I'm going to pause this video real quick, make these edits, and then I'll be right back. So we've went ahead and edited this document. I've added a few words and changed some of my grammatical things around it. Now let's do a word count check.
Word and character count. 281 words and 1584 characters.
So as you can see, there's about 30, 40 more words added onto the document. So let's go ahead and hit OK.
OK, default button. Now in Untitled 6.9 window, edit text insertion at end.
And now we get to the fun part, actually creating the podcast. Let's do a Command A to select all of this, and we're going to do Command C to copy.
Wistia or YouTube. Selected. Copy.
And if you want to read these show notes, definitely head on over to yourownpay.com. Now, I'm going to go ahead and use another one of my handy little keystrokes. That is, thanks to Keyboard Commander, right option S.
Safari, top sites, window, toolbar.
And I'm going to go ahead and hit Command L and type in LYB.
Open IB, website suggestion, B.
LIBSYN, sorry.
Libsyn, podcast selection replay,
This then takes me to the Libsyn homepage.
Libsyn, podcast hosting services window.
And now I know that I want to find the link that says login, so let's hit VOU.
Links menu.
And I'm going to type the letters LOG.
2 items.
And I want the first option because the second option is their logo.
Libsyn login.
And the first option says Libsyn login. So it's VO space to highlight and then VO space to select.
Visited. Press. Visited. Link.
Now, this page already has my email address and password. Let's tab to verify.
Michael@yourownpay.com. Content selected.
Perfect.
Required edit text.
So I'm going to press return.
In.
And this puts me on the QuickCast main dashboard page.
Liberated syndication. Libsyn window.
And that's what it says as the title. So now what I want to do is I'm going to hit VOU to bring up my links list view.
Links menu.
And I want to add some new content. So Libsyn has an interesting menu structure. I like it, personally, when you get used to it. So I'm going to type the word content.
One item.
And the only option there is
content.
Now if you VO space to highlight,
visited link, content,
that drops down that menu. And you'll see when you VO right arrow that you have an option that says
visited link, add new episode.
Add new episode. So I'm going to VO space on that to select it.
Press, visit new content, liberated, visited internal link, skip to primary navigation.
Now I'm on a page with the title of
new content, liberated syndication, Libsyn window.
If you need to go back through this video again and again to follow along with me, that is perfectly fine. Go right ahead. But what we do is I'm going to hit tab.
User menu button banner 4 items. User menu.
That's not what I want, so I'm going to hit tab again.
Media, upload/choose media files, selected tab, 1 of 1.
And that is the tab I want to be on, which is perfect, so I'm going to hit tab again.
New line, ADD media file button.
And you'll hear it say add media file button. So I'm going to VO space on that. It's going to jump my focus to the bottom of the page and into a frame automatically for me.
Choose file source with 15 items. Dialog upload from hard drive button. Upload from hard drive, select from FTP unreleased.
Actually, I hit control to stop it from reading. Actually, it's a dialog with some different options.
Upload from hard drive.
Upload from hard drive is where you can upload files automatically from your hard drive. If you VO right arrow, you'll hear
select from FTP/unreleased button.
Select from FTP/unreleased, which is where our file is waiting for us at right now. Let's VO right arrow and see what other options we've got.
Copy from URL button.
You can copy media from a URL. If you're hosting somewhere else, you can copy it from that server into Libsyn.
Copy from cloud storage with 2 items. Group.
I've never used this, but apparently you can copy from Dropbox and Google Drive.
Cancel button.
And then there's cancel. So let's go ahead and VO left arrow back over to the select from FTP/unreleased.
Copy, select from FTP/unreleased button.
And we're going to VO space on that.
Press select from FTP/unreleased button.
And now that I've done that, I'm in a table, and you might need to stop interacting with the cell.
Stop interacting with cell.
Because by default, it puts you on the very first file, which in my case, it's the only file in this folder, so normally I just hit that select button. But it puts you on the very first file in your Dropbox, and it automatically highlights select. So all you would have to do, if this is the way you go through posting all of your podcasts, is you just need to hit VO space on that select from FTP/unreleased. That'll automatically highlight the select button, so you hit VO space again, and it will select that file. But let me help you see that you're highlighted the right file. Let's VO left arrow after we stopped interacting with that cell.
Upload date 20151112040633.
And then we'll VO left arrow.
File name, wisg underline or underline YouTube your underline own underline pay underline podcast.mp3.
Which is the file that I want. So you can navigate this table if you have additional files, but then you want to get back over to the third column.
Upload date, actions preview, select.
Actions, preview, or select. And you can preview the file or just select. So let's interact with this cell.
2 items, preview button.
And I don't want the preview button, I want the select button, so I'm going to VO right arrow.
Select button.
And I'm going to VO space on that.
Press select button.
Now that did select the media. And it also moved the focus back up to the top of the page, which is okay. I mean, it took me a minute to understand that, but that's fine. We'll just hit our tab button, and you'll hear that user menu again.
New line, ADD media file button.
Oh, let me do that again.
Media, user menu button banner 4 items.
I paused the video to verify what I was saying was happening because I just do this second naturally. So the first thing that you'll hear when you press tab is
user menu.
User menu. Now I'm going to press tab again.
Media, upload/choose media files, selected tab, 1 of 1.
Hey, that sounds familiar. Let's press tab again.
New line. ADD media file button.
Add media file. I don't want to add another media file. Let's press tab again.
Replace button.
You can replace the currently uploaded media file, which is that Wistia file that I just added. You can press tab again.
Delete button.
You can delete that file or press tab again.
WISTIA underscore or underscore YouTube dash your underscore own underscore pay underscore podcast dot MP3 master file pop-up button.
And that is the master file, which is the file that will be distributed to the podcast feeds. Press tab.
Episode level bonus content tab 1 of 1.
I don't use the episode level bonus content. You can add like a downloadable PDF file of your show notes. I need to experiment with that more. However, know that that tab is available. Press tab.
Details. Edit title, description, and info about this content. Selected tab 1 of 1.
So now we're going to edit some details of this content. So press tab.
Title star edit text.
Title, and I'm going to type in the title that I want for this. Wistia or YouTube your own pay podcast. I'm going to press tab.
Subtitle edit text.
And I'm going to type in a subtitle. This is only used, to the best of my knowledge, in iTunes. Now I'm going to press tab.
Edit text. New line. Insertion at beginning of text.
This is your show notes. I'm going to go ahead and Command V on this.
Paste.
And it will have my show notes there.
To sell your content? Why? Leave me a comment and let me know.
That's the very last line. So that's exactly what I want. So press tab. This is a visual editor. So if you do link within TextEdit, like if you highlight words and you hit Command K to make it a clickable link, those links will transfer over to this visual editor. Press tab.
Leaving edit text. What's this? Button.
Press tab.
What's this? Currently selected. Selected tab 1 of 4.
And this is asking what do you want to use what do you want to be the artwork. I leave currently selected because that'll just use my default artwork that I have set in my preferences. Press tab.
What's this? Blog thumbnail button. What's this?
Press tab.
Do not use thumbnail on blog selected radio button.
I leave that option set how it is. Press tab.
What's this? Category button.
Category.
What's this?
Press tab. I leave mine set as general. You can experiment with that if you'd like. It's not necessary though.
General. Contents selected. Category. Edit text.
Press tab.
Tag/keywords. Edit text.
Tag/keywords they used to be used in iTunes, and this particular field is going to be removed in the next version of Libsyn. So you can ignore this. iTunes used to be tag driven, so you could have typed in tags to help rank better for those particular keywords, but that's no longer valid in iTunes. So press tab.
Shows blog page permalink points to pop-up button.
Permalink points to show's blog page. So that is, where do you want people to be taken to if they click on your link or your podcast episode link in iTunes or other podcast directories. And I leave this set to show's blog post because that'll take them back to the actual post that this audio file is attached to. Now press tab.
Enable comments. Checked checkbox.
Of course, I want people to be able to comment. Press tab.
Not set. Selected. Radio button. Rating.
And this is rating. I always mark mine as explicit because I have a habit of, slipping up a little bit. You can put yours as clean if you'd like.
Explicit. Selected. Radio button. Rating.
Press tab.
Not set. Rating. Pop-up button. TV style.
Now, you can pop up this pop-up, or what I normally do is I just press tab.
Course language. Unchecked. Checkbox. TV style.
And I check that course language.
Checked. Course language. Checkbox.
And I don't check any of the additional options. So let's press tab.
Sexual content. Unchecked. Checkbox. TV style.
Press tab.
Suggestive dialogue. Unchecked. Checkbox. TV style.
Press tab.
Violence. Unchecked. Checkbox. TV style.
Press tab.
Social destination custom text. Selected. Tab. 1 of 1.
So this is if you have social networks connected to your destinations tab. I'll show you that here in a few minutes. But I only have LinkedIn connected, so my LinkedIn profile is automatically updated when I publish a new podcast episode. So press tab.
LinkedIn status. Edit text.
And it asks, what do you want to show on your LinkedIn status? So I'm going to type, what video hosting service do you use for your protected content? And the reason I type that is because I want to increase engagement on LinkedIn. My preference is Wistia. Take a listen to learn why. And this one, I believe you can have 700 characters in there. Press tab.
Schedule release / expiration tab 1 of 1.
You can schedule this podcast to either A, no longer be available, or B, be released. I don't do anything with that, so press tab.
New line.
And press tab one more time. I don't know why that new line reads.
Schedule advanced options tab 1.
Oh, it's the advanced options tab. You don't need to worry about that right now, so press tab.
New line. Publish button.
And you'll hear it say new line publish button. When I press this button, here's what's going to happen. I have some destinations set up. In your links list view, you can go in and add destinations. So when I publish this, it's going to, number 1, be added to my RSS feed. Number 2, Stitcher is going to be notified. When my iTunes is approved, which it should be approved in the near future, iTunes will automatically be notified. My show notes and the podcast episode itself are copied over to SoundCloud, and SoundCloud followers are notified that I just published new content. LinkedIn is notified that I published new content, and I'll be presented with a page that shows me the direct download link for this file. And in addition, I also have in my destinations WordPress enabled, so it's going to go create a draft post in my WordPress. I'm going to walk you through literally everything I do when I publish a new podcast episode. Understand this process, this entire process normally takes me about 5 minutes, but because I'm slowing down to explain it to people, I can't just whip right through it like I normally do. So let's go ahead and hit that publish button. And when you get set up, you'll be more familiar with this. This next step, in addition, that I do isn't necessary for your WordPress if you don't care about the aesthetics of your player. Now, I'm fond of the Blueberry PowerPress player. I just like the way that it accessibly places a player on your site. You can set Libsyn to automatically use their player, but what I've found is that their player does not offer a accessible play, pause, fast forward, rewind, how much time is left. So I just use Blueberry PowerPress. Once again, if you need to review this video to see what I've done, go right ahead. We added the new media from the FTP/unreleased section, and we put that media in the FTP/unreleased section by uploading it to the Dropbox folder from BossJock in iOS. So let's go ahead and hit publish.
Press publish button.
When you publish your episode, you're then placed on a page with the title of
Links / embed code for Wistia or YouTube, your own pay podcast, liberated syndication, Libsyn window.
Which is exactly what I'm looking for. Obviously, your podcast title will be what's there instead of my Wistia/YouTube. So if you press tab, you'll hear
User menu button banner 4 items.
that
User menu.
That user menu is always at the top of the page. Let's press tab again.
http://traffic.libsyn.com/your-own-pay/wistia_ or _YouTube your _known _pay _podcast.mp3 contents selected edit text.
So I'm going to go ahead and copy that URL
Copy.
because that's what I need to publish into my Blueberry PowerPress. So I'm done on Libsyn. Libsyn's already done everything I need it to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go log into my WordPress blog. Perfect. So I am now on the page with the title of
Dashboard, your own pay, WordPress window.
And I've got the link that says
All posts.
highlighted. So I'm going to go ahead and VO space on that to select it to bring me to all of my posts.
Press, visited, link, all posts.
Now that I'm on the page with the title of
Posts, your own pay, WordPress window.
I'm going to jump over to the table with VO Command T.
Table.
And I'm going to interact with that table.
Interact with table, no selection, row 1 of 22. Select all.
Now I'm going to VO down arrow.
Select Wistia or YouTube, your own pay podcast. Select Wistia or YouTube.
And hey, look, Wistia or YouTube, your own pay podcast. If you VO right arrow.
Title, Wistia or YouTube, your own pay podcast. Link, draft, edit, link, quick edit, internal, link, trash, link, preview, link, remove from WordFence cache, internal, link.
And as you can tell, it is a draft. So let's interact with this, and we'll select the first link, which is the title of the episode.
2 items, Wistia or YouTube, your own pay podcast. Link, draft, group.
And I'm going to go ahead and VO space on that.
Press link, Wistia, link, Wistia or...
Now I'm going to use heading navigation.
Heading level 1 2 items.
And I'm looking for the episode heading.
Heading level 3, publish, click heading level 3, categories. Heading level 4 internal, link, plus add new category. Heading level 3, tags, clickable. Heading level 3, featured image, clickable. Heading level 3, podcast episode, clickable.
Which is exactly what I'm looking for, so I'll VO right arrow.
Media URL. Edit text, blank.
And I'll paste in my media URL.
Paste. http://traffic.libsyn.com/your-own-pay/wyo_YouTube-your_own_pay_podcast.mp3.
Now I'm going to press tab
Verify URL button.
and hit VO space on that verify URL.
Press verify URL button.
Now, Blueberry PowerPress will automatically go see how big that file is and how long it is, and it's going to publish that information. I do one more thing on this page before I hit publish. I'm going to press tab.
Bullet specify. Selected. Radio button. 2 of 2.
Again.
6493166. Selected.
Again and again.
Bullet specify. 0. Selected.
I apologize for those of you visually watching. I had a low battery notification that popped up. So let's press tab again.
Wistia or YouTube. Your own 1.5. Wistia or.
And now we're in the title of the all-in-one SEO section. So I'm going to just
Select
type
all.
in Wistia
6, 18,
or YouTube
30, 32,
question mark.
33.
And that 33 means that that's 33 characters. If you press tab, you'll hear
3. Contents selected.
and then
Text.
I'm going to press tab one more time.
Edit text. Wistia.
And I'm going to just type a quick description here real quick.
Select all.
And then I'm going to press tab.
103. Contents.
I'm happy with 103. And then we'll type in some keywords real quick by pressing tab.
Edit text. Blank.
And I want Wistia or YouTube. I want your own pay podcast. Your own pay cast. And that's enough for now. Now, just get back to the heading level 3 of
Publish.
and we're going to go ahead and publish this article.
Save link. Status. Draft.
Its status is draft. I'm just via right arrowing.
Internal. Visibility. Public. Internal. Publish on November 11/2015 at 21:29. Internal. Publicize. Facebook. Consulting with Michael Babcock. Twitter. At Payon. LinkedIn. Michael Babcock. Tumblr. 328247847327485. Google Plus. Your own pay.
Perfect.
Internal. Visited. Link. Internal. Link. Move to trash. Publish button.
And I'm going to go ahead and just hit the publish button.
Press publish button. 3%.
And that post has been published. It's available on my blog. All of those publicized destinations were notified in addition to the destinations within Libsyn. So that is how you quickly post an episode on Libsyn. And once you get familiar with the whole process, it does become a bit faster. And you can, as I said, I got this whole process down to, well, when I don't do any additional backlinking, which I do some backlinking, but when I don't do any additional backlinking, I can get this process done in about a minute or two. When I do all my backlinking, it's about 5 minutes. But that's how you post a broadcast or a podcast episode on your Libsyn account. If you want to set up destinations such as SoundCloud or RSS feeds, or which by default you do have an RSS feed already set up, but WordPress or LinkedIn, you can set it to automatically notify LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, WordPress, Tumblr. You can really post to quite a bit of places. On your Libsyn control panel, you'll go to the destinations link, and then via right arrow past that, you have two options. One is add destination, and the other one is view/edit destinations. If you need me to go through that process, definitely leave me a comment and let me know. But that is pretty much a run through of how you can add your content to your podcast. If you have any questions, get in contact with me over at yourownpay.com or follow at Payon on Zello, Periscope, Twitter, and Blab.